any in recent memory. Tonight in Las Vegas, such a meeting between Julio Cesar Chavez and Meldrick Taylor. Both are 140-pound champions. Chavez, WBC super lightweight titleist, is regarded by many as the best fighter in the world. Taylor reigns as the IBF's junior welterweight champ and is seen as one of boxing's most exciting competitors. Neither man has ever suffered a ring defeat. Chavez, who has won at least 66 consecutive professional fights, has the longest win streak of any active fighter. Add Taylor's 24 victories and 1 draw, and these two warriors are undefeated in 91 bouts. And under pressure, both have risen to the occasion. Taylor's career best performance was in his first title fight against then-champion Buddy McGirt. Chavez has been tested 16 times in championship fights. 16 times he has willed himself to victory. But they differ in style. One is active, averaging 85 punches per round. Meldrick Taylor suffocates opponents with rapid-fire flurry attacks. The other is accurate. Chavez lands at least half his punches, utilizing a sculptor's approach, chiseling away until each rock finally crumbles. These are the requisite elements of an unforgettable prize fight. Tonight, we bring you the unification of the 140-pound weight division between WBC titleist Julio Cesar Chavez and the IBF champion Meldrick Taylor. Tonight, World Championship Boxing comes to you live from the Las Vegas Hilton, where HBO Sports presents a 140-pound title fight unification between two undefeated champions, the IBF's Meldrick Taylor and the WBC's Julio Cesar Chavez. Live in the indoor arena at the Las Vegas Hilton, which seats 9,300, which has been the scene of some of Julio Cesar Chavez's greatest victories and toughest challenges, and has a crowd tonight populated by so many Mexican Americans, you might begin to wonder whether St. Patrick's Day is a Latin American holiday. A crowd whose participation in this fight will weigh heavily in the favor of Julio Cesar Chavez. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. It's our great pleasure at HBO Sports to bring you what we call and what other experts have called the greatest little fight money can buy. A bout between two extraordinarily talented, undefeated champions whose styles seem to be perfect foils for one another. As we turn to our HBO boxing analyst, Larry Merchant, it's worth noting that despite Buster Douglas's big upset over Mike Tyson in February, which was a big surprise, we had been looking forward to this bout for a long, long time. And both fighters are aware of the expectations. Could the bout collapse a little bit under the weight of all this excitement?
Following Tyson and Douglas is like Holmes following Ali or Norville following Paulie. In Tokyo, Tyson and Douglas were supposed to be a little fast food sushi, and happily it turned into a 4-star banquet. This fight is supposed to be a 4-star banquet, so we might be disappointed if it turns out to be a little less. It's so appetizing because Chavez is one of the toughest fighters you'll ever see, and Taylor is given a good chance to end his 10-year winning streak. If ever there was a reason for great expectations, this is it.
And of course, for all of those reasons, Larry, people within the sport have talked about this fight and looked forward to it for a long time and have filtered through their memories to find comparisons with past fights of historic significance. One of them, which pops up, is the first fight between Roberto Duran and Ray Leonard in Montreal in 1980. There were similarities, Ray, between Duran at that stage of his career and Julio Cesar Chavez. There were parallels between you at that stage of your career and an undefeated Meldrick Taylor. And what happened to you is that amid all of that excitement, you wound up fighting Duran's fight. Could that happen to Meldrick Taylor tonight?
Well, Jim, there's a parallel with Meldrick Taylor and myself, because I've come to believe that sometimes the aura of the fight, the anticipation of the event itself, can be just as tough as the opponent. And for Meldrick Taylor to be effective, he must concentrate. Concentration will be the key tonight. he must not allow himself to get tough and try to exchange punch for punch with Chavez.
You spent a good deal of time with Meldrick yesterday afternoon. What's your expectation of his frame of mind coming into the ring?
Jimmy appears to be very, very relaxed, very, very confident, but I tell you what, action speaks louder than words.
We're going to see it very shortly. Of course, another bout to which this one has been compared is another that took place within the past decade. The first matchup between Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pryor. Here now, a closer look at the two undefeated champions and this great matchup.
Tonight's fight is the climax toward which Meldrick Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez have been working for the past 2 years. One of them will keep rising toward the pinnacle of the sport. Though he's won 3 titles and 66 consecutive fights, Chavez remains an aspiring superstar. Limited to the Spanish language, he's still a relative unknown outside his native Mexico. And on his behalf, Don King has fostered promotional campaigns and a brief attempt at an education in English.
I must win this fight in order to achieve worldwide recognition. And to fight a champion like Meldrick Taylor and defeat him will help me achieve my goal.
Meldrick Taylor was one of the less heralded Olympic boxing champions of 1984. Fewer fans noticed his march to a gold medal than, for instance, the exploits of Breland and Biggs. But Taylor has since become the most successful of the 84 Olympians. The Philadelphia native won the junior welterweight title in only his 21st pro fight.
This is a good opportunity for me to show the world that I'm the best fighter out there at 23 pound for pound in the world.
In a sport where contrasting styles make great fights, these two champions are perfect foils. Chavez likes to fight inside, where he combines body punching with excellent defense to wear down his opponents and break their will. Meldrick Taylor relies on lightning speed and classic footwork to get off ahead of his opponents.
I have the quick hand speed, good lateral movement, good mobility. I see Chavez as a great pressure fighter, good combination, relentless fighter. But I see me offsetting that attack.
Boxing fans saw a similar matchup of junior welterweights 7.5 years ago. The Nicaraguan champion Alexis Arguello was like Chavez, a ring technician who held titles in several different weight classes. Aaron Pryor was like Taylor, an undefeated American champion who needed a major victory to propel him to worldwide recognition.
There were 2 fighters that was the best in their weight class in their field. They had different type of styles, like this time here with me and Chavez. For the 90s, we have 2 young fighters with our whole career, life is on the line here, and we're going up against each other.
Pryor and Arguello put their boxing lives on the line for 14 brutal rounds in an epic battle of wills.
Combination by Arguello again, the uppercut and the overhand right. Back with another overhand right. Pryor smiles at him at the bell. Arguello trying to cover up. A smashing right hand. Arguello's helpless against the ropes. Arguello's hands at his side. It's over. Aaron Pryor has retired his junior welterweight championship. Arguello slips to the canvas.
We're supposed to fight because we love the sport and we like the challenge. It's what it feels to defeat another human being with the same brain capacity, with the same boxing skill, you know, and then you become the winner. That's the great thing.
Desperate determination is what made Pryor Arguello 1 a ring classic, and what may make this fight a carbon copy, especially since Chavez has come so far without ever tasting defeat.
I've always had in my mind that in the ring, every opponent is a champion, and I am a human being like anyone else, and one is always exposed to defeat. Fortunately, I've always prepared myself consciously 100%, as each one of my fights leads to bigger and more important fights, and I think that's why I have remained undefeated.
Meldrick Taylor has also benefited from a champion's desire.
My will probably prevail in this fight. Chavez is a great champion. He's determined. He has a lot of pride also. But I just think that extra little bit of will just to do anything it takes to win and just bring out the best. See, I'm a fighter that rises to the occasion. You know, if I have a challenge out there and somebody said I can't do it, or I have just got doubts about me, I'm going to do it. No doubt about it, I'm going to do it.
If Chavez and Taylor's confrontation is anywhere near as pulse-quickening as the 1982 Pryor-Arguello epic, fans will demand a rematch, as they did for Pryor and Arguello just 10 months later.